Hi, my name is Vanessa Leck. Today's video is going to be about congressional complaints and how I filed one and congressional complaints in the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs and employees and military veterans that have to file congressional complaints. So, I just have come, unfortunately, to the conclusion over the last number of years that there's nothing really to be optimistic about with the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. And this whole video series is really going to illustrate why and what needs to be done to change it. Okay, so unfortunately, as a military veteran, it seems almost like a given that you're going to have to potentially file a congressional complaint, which is outrageous. My experience with congressional offices typically are not positive. Most of these congressional offices are either busy dodging their constituents or they're busy maybe being flooded by their constituents' concerns that have elected them into office. I've encountered both kinds of offices, and there's a lack of just follow up and follow through. Now, the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs doesn't really seem to take these congressional complaints / inquiries very seriously. Historically, in my experience, and even the experience of other people that I've spoken with that have either worked at the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs or are veterans themselves, and on the other side of that, receiving services from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, or trying to. Anyways, and so this is U.S. Congressman Mike Johnson. This is his office's privacy release. Let's see what they call it. Privacy. It's probably a good privacy release form. And it's because of the Privacy Act of 1974. It's stated here what that says and what that is, blah, 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 whatever. Anyways, but this is a typical Privacy Act form that you're going to see when you file a congressional complaint / inquiry about anything, essentially. And so, this is the basic information. It's going to have like demographic information here, name, date of birth, your location, how they can get a hold of you. They're going to ask, like, what do you need, basically? What is your desired outcome, signed date? Well, with me, I always need additional paperwork for the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. This little form will not be sufficient. Those few lines, no, not so much. So anyway, so as I covered in another video, which there was another congressional complaint I had to file because the VA would not communicate with me and read my letter, okay, and file it away appropriately. So now I've decided I'm going to have to file my second congressional complaint / inquiry. And I don't think, quite frankly, the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs will even take it seriously, because why would they? I mean, they can operate with impunity. They can operate with impunity, the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, in my experience. It's like, why would they be concerned? Why would they care? It doesn't matter. This is how typically a person would file a congressional complaint / inquiry. They will go to their congressional rep's office in their district where they vote. They will fill out the form to release privacy information, and then they will allow the rep's office to proceed. Hopefully you are actively participating in, your voting process and getting good people in office with any luck, and they're going to help you, hopefully, because many of these people don't. These people have been really great, and I feel very lucky to have had such great people.